Hello all, and welcome to my first official YouTube video, and please bear with me, as I'm sure this is going to be far from the very most professional video on YouTube, but just bear with me, and please try to enjoy. So I figured what better video to make than for my very first YouTube video than a EDC. So I figured I'd go over everything that I kind of carry on my body quite religiously. So first off, we'll start with the actually, I guess start off with the disclaimer. The only thing in this frame, or the only thing pictured that you don't see that I do carry on my body quite really, or every single day, is my phone, and that is because I'm recording on that. So that is one item that I definitely carry on my body every single day that I do not have pictured here. Now that we got that out of the way, I actually just got this as a Christmas present yesterday for my brother. It's called an Arcfeld Pro, and it's from Olight, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a little bit bulky for me. I wouldn't definitely say I would be carrying this every single day, but I'm typically one of those guys that likes to try and have either a flashlight on him or in the vehicle, hopefully nearby, every single day, because you never know what you're going to need a flashlight for, obviously. So it's got a UV setting, it's got a laser pointer setting, and it's got a different flashlight setting where you can have different brightnesses. And then it's also got a strobing effect too, so it's quite cool. It's got multiple options, and the design is definitely me. I thought this design was very cool, so it was a good gift by him, so thanks to him. But yeah, this isn't necessarily something I would be carrying on my body every single day, and I quite literally just got it yesterday, so it's been hard for me to EDC this, if you will. Now that we got that out of the way, always got to have a set of keys anytime you leave the house, obviously. So I have multiple set of car keys, so I don't want to be having that all cluttered. So but just typical set of keys for a car or house or something like that. You always got to have those. But I like this one. I actually got this from my father. It's a little nice compact key set, but it's quite cool, and it fits very easily in the pocket. It's nice, slim, compact, so you don't really notice it all day. So I like this. Continue to use it until I can't anymore, until it breaks. Unfortunately, hopefully that doesn't happen, but unfortunately things do happen. So, but yeah, I like this. This is where I keep all my keys. Next thing is a wallet. This is a Kohan wallet. If you couldn't tell, I typically like leather, obviously, so I try to stick with leather. I don't really do Kydex holsters or anything like that, but I already got all my cards out of here and stuff. But this wallet's obviously been used. It's got some marks on it and stuff, but it's still holding up pretty decently, and I like it. I use Kohan for the other clothing and stuff like that too, so I like that brand, but it's just a typical leather wallet, bifold wallet. I always like bifold. I don't like that trifold stuff, what it does to cash. But it's a nice leather wallet. Does a good job of holding my money whenever I rarely have some. So, yeah. What else is there to say about it? Next thing is a pocket knife. Obviously, you always got to have a pocket knife on you. Could always be running into boxes, that need opening or something like that. I mean, you need a knife every single day, whether it's cutting rope or string or running into a enemy box, as they say, an op. But this is actually a company called Carved. They make a pretty cool knife, but I typically like the flippers. I don't like all that spring-loaded stuff. Those typically always break, after a couple uses and stuff. I don't really like that, so flipper's usually the way to go for me. Like I said, it's a company called Carved, and they only make one-of-a-kind hilts. So they make different hilts, but they all have they only make one of them. No two are the same, so it's not necessarily expensive or anything like that, but it's a nice little pocket knife. It does its job, stays sharp. Just always got to have a pocket knife on you. As I always say, you can't shoot a box open. Well, you can, but not necessarily do you want to. But yeah, does a good job. So moving on to the cool stuff, I guess. This is my everyday carry, but I already safety cleared it and stuff like that, so it does not have one in the chamber. But This is a CZ75 PCR. I actually never bought these bullets before, but I like them. They're quite good, and they run good in this PCR. But there are these Norma MHP monolithic hollow point, but they're quite cool. I guess they had a pretty bad rap quite a while ago, but I guess they had some quality control improvements. So in my experience, I haven't had any issues with them, and they've ran flawlessly out of the CZ. We'll set that ammo over to the side. But yeah, I quite literally love this gun. It's served all the purposes I've ever needed it to. I actually haven't been carrying it all too long. I've been carrying it for about maybe 8 months or so. I've owned it longer than that. It has the manufacturing year marks up there, 2022. That's whenever I actually bought it. It was a brand new gun whenever I bought it. But yeah, I've had it since then. I've been shooting it since then, but I've only been carrying it for about, like I said, 8 months or so. Haven't had any issues with it. It is one of the ones that was imported through Kansas City, I believe, because it is one of the older ones that was actually made in the Czech Republic, because it's got the frame serialized, slide serialized, and the barrel serialized. So that's obviously how they do it over in Europe. Us Americanos, we've most of the places like SIG and stuff, they've transitioned to just serializing the fire control unit. So it doesn't really bother me either way. I don't really have a preference. It doesn't really bother me. I guess it would technically bother me if I bought a used gun and it had a different, a European gun and it had a different barrel or different frame or something. I guess that would kind of bother me. But if it's all the same, it doesn't really bother me. I don't have a problem with that. But what do I like about this gun? Well, I guess we'll start off with, I like the looks of it, obviously. I think it's a good, pretty smooth looking gun. Kind of almost reminds me of like a poor man's Alien, Lugo Alien or whatever. Yeah, first off, I like the looks of it. You always got to like the look of your firearm, if you're going to want to buy it, want to actually spend your hard-earned money on it. But the ergonomics are quite amazing, if I do say so myself. I mean, this just kind of melts in your hand. I mean, it is it's nice. Frame and ergonomics are very, very nice on it. Very open trigger guard, in case you ever would have gloves on. And it does get cold up here sometimes where I'm at, so I do like to wear gloves. And sometimes, I have a home range, so I shoot with gloves on, sometimes outside. So, open trigger guard. The trigger is quite smooth, and I already showed that we're clear here. But the trigger is quite smooth on it, even in double action. I have a 1911, and it's definitely not anything it's not as nice as my 1911 trigger, but the way I compare this trigger is it's almost like rolling on like a ball. It's just very smooth, it's tight, that trigger, it's about 10, 12, 11, pound trigger pull. But I don't know why I didn't go in order sequence there for numbers, but regardless, it's it's a pretty heavy trigger pull, but it's just smooth, and it just kind of breaks nice. Even in that double action, and then single action, it's nice. I mean, it's like rolling on a ball, like I said, like a ballpoint pen or something. It's nice. It's not necessarily going to break like glass. Not necessarily going to break like glass. It has creep, but you're not going to notice that if you're, doing combat shooting, if you will, or whatever you want to say. It's obviously got lint in it and everything because I've been carrying it every single day. But it's nice. Magwell's a little bit chipped up for me doing express reloads and stuff like that. Just training scenarios. But some people are kind of snobs about guns. I'm like somewhat in the middle, I guess, if you will. I'm not a snob. I wouldn't necessarily take a pot of shit and say thanks, but I like, I have no problem buying a used gun or something like that. But I absolutely love holster wear on pistols. I don't know what it is, but I think holster wear on pistols is just, I don't know, it just like lets me know that it's got some life in it, you know what I mean, that it works. I don't know. Don't need that hair in there. But yeah, I mean, the thing, I just like knowing that it's got some life in it. That it's gonna run, that it's been used. That's what I like. Also, the low bore axis. That's not anything crazy, but it is, pretty low bore axis. Not too bad. I mean, it's a factory gun. It's nothing. It's not a custom gun or anything. It's not. But for a factory gun, I've done a lot worse. I've done a lot worse. Obviously, I like the commander style hammer. I've carried a 1911 as well with the traditional hammer, and that thing kind of jabs into your love handle sometimes, so I've never had an issue with that on this. I mean, this is a very nice, this is the way to go if you're going to carry. I know it may not look the coolest at times, but commander style, they did that right on the 1911 Commanders. So, I've obviously kind of, if you haven't been able to tell, I like 1911s, but I've carried cocked and locked before with 1911s, but the decocker is the way to go. And that, I mean, it's just it's so nice, and it's, it's very safe, and you're not going to have any, it's peace of mind too, Even with a 1911 and, a nice 1911, sometimes I've always been known to maybe just like check and make sure that safety didn't flip off or something. With this, nothing's going to be pulling that trigger, and the decocker is just nice, and you still have the ability to have that nice, smooth, crisp single action, nice pull single action. What else? I have been carrying it in this Kusiak leather holster. This is not my first holster by these guys, but I would definitely recommend them to anyone. They are definitely top of the line in my book. They're American made too, so they're based out of Texas. So, obviously, I'm carrying a European gun over here, and I'm talking about America, but, two things can be true. I would prefer to buy all American, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna, just, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna show appreciation of both, but American made, so that's always a plus. Clip style. The other one I have is actually in brown leather, and like I said, I prefer brown leather, but I thought I have this mag carrier, CZ's kind of like in that blackish, parkerized finish or whatever it is. It's not necessarily parkerized, but I don't know what that is, but I figured, the whole black setup would kind of go well. And look at the attention to detail, and you can have, they have this wing style, or the wing on this style of holster, but look at the attention to detail. They have wooden ones, but I picked the carbon fiber one because I figured it would go well with the black on black. But look at the attention to detail on that. The American flag right in the carbon fiber itself. I mean, that's nice. You know what I mean? It's like they don't have to do that, but whenever you're waiting, and I will say that the one bad thing, not bad, but necessary thing that is unfortunate about these holsters is it takes a while for them to make it. But you know what? It's quality, and you're getting good quality whenever you're getting it back in. But yeah, I mean, just that attention to detail, you know what I mean? It's just like, you don't, now I don't think it's like that on the wooden ones, but for, you know, the carbon fiber one, it's like, you know, it could have just been bland carbon fiber, but no, you know, they got to have a nice little bit of flair in there. So, and all their holsters have an American flag on it, which I can definitely get down with. So, it's not in the same spot either. It's different on their different styles of holsters. But yeah, this holster's been great. It's got, if you couldn't tell, I had a little bit of a hard time pulling it out like that whenever it's not on my belt, because it's got good retention. And I will say, I have a Kusiak leather holster for a P365, and that one was a lot like smoother for the gun to get out of. This gun, with all the stuff in it, like this big lug nut here, and this got the loaded chamber indicator whenever it's loaded. I forgot to go over that, but it has a loaded chamber indicator on it whenever it's loaded. Just, and like this big beefy, you know, thing here, the slide stop and the decocker, and it's got, you know, the palm sole grips. Not necessarily that it's, you know, in the holster, but everything about this is a little bit thicker. It's not too thick though. I mean, like I said, I've been perfectly concealing this for how long? So, yeah, I mean, these things have good retention. But getting back to what I was saying, this thing was like a gun safe, not a gun holster, man. I was struggling to get this gun out of here whenever I first got it back. But, you know, I mean, you got to work at it. You got to, you know, like they give you a little pamphlet that says, you got to break in a leather holster, you know, that way it can last years and stuff like that. It's supposed to have good retention. But, yeah, I mean, it obviously works, but, you know, it's quite good too. You know, it comes in and out quite good. So there's no way that's coming out ever like that, you know. I mean, it's in there. But yeah, I thought the first time I put this in here, and before I, like, you know, broke in this holster, I thought I was never gonna get this gun back. I thought I basically sold this thing and just basically got rid of it, because this gun was not coming out of that holster. But arrogance prevailed. No, I just, you know, you got to do the, what they tell you. They give you a whole technique and everything like that, but just be wary for buying, you know, if you're going to buy a holster from them for something that's bigger like this, you know, not like a P365 or something like that, but, you know, it's just going to take you a little bit more time to break in. You know, it's going to take you a couple days or something like that. But, yeah, fine quality, top of the line, though. Like I said, I've had no issues from the two holsters that I've bought off of them, and I've had no issues with this gun, like I said, either. It's got good slide serrations on it, front and rear. Novak style sights, you know, anti-snag. They're not night sights, but they're those like luminescent ones where, you know, they capture light for a little bit and they kind of just glow for a little bit, but, you know, it's not really, I use that word loosely. Little bit of a lined front strap here, front trigger guard, and I do like to try and typically do that if I can. You know, I don't have a problem with that style of grip. Very nice beaver tail. I mean, you really get up in there. You know, it's almost like I'm not gonna go there, but, you know, you really do get up in there and get a good purchase on the grip, full contact. You know, even without the magazine, you get full contact. So, and I don't have huge hands, but still, I don't have small hands either. The other somewhat kind of, this is just a little carrier that I got off of a Bud K magazine a while ago, but just serves its purpose for spare mag. And I am of the belief, obviously, if it's a semi-auto, I think you should always be carrying a spare mag. Not necessarily for the extra capacity, which that's always nice. I mean, I've always just kind of viewed that as a bonus, having the extra capacity. But I'm just of the belief that you need to have a spare mag in case of a malfunction. I mean, you have to absolutely have a spare mag in case of a malfunction. because you are not going to be under stress. Not, thank God I've never been under a situation like this, but I can totally believe that you are not going to be able to handle that situation very well and be able to clear a magazine malfunction and a gun malfunction in the heat of, excitement. So, carrying a semi-auto, I definitely am of the belief that you always have to have a spare mag, and I'm also of the belief that you definitely have to have one in the chamber and it's ready to go. You cannot, well, you can, but in my eyes, obviously, this is just me we're talking about here, my preferences, but I definitely think you gotta have one in the chamber, no Israeli carry or nothing like that, because you don't, if a person's on top of you 300 pounds trying to, get a knife at your throat or something like that, you ain't going to be able to have an extra hand to rack that slide and, get them off you. You're going to be lucky if you have, one hand to do that. So that's just my thoughts. There's good, good and bad things to everything. Everything's a give and take, plus and minus. So, but I definitely love this gun. I'll do more videos on it, but I know this is a little bit of a long-winded video, and it's my first video, but like I said, please, please bear with me, as it's going to be far from my best video that I'm going to do. So, but gotta always start somewhere. But yeah, this is a very fine firearm. Could do a lot worse than this, especially for the price point. I know there's things I didn't go over about this gun that I definitely like, but just as an EDC video, I guess that covers enough about this gun. So, yeah. Hope you all liked it, and take care and come back for more later on.